How's it going, guys, and welcome to your morning call. Now, the Delhi government is going to bear the cost of every single child that has been orphaned due to the COVID 19 pandemic, which is a very big deal. One of the biggest things that was out there was the kids, the young ones that didn't have anyone else to take care of them, and their parents unfortunately succumbed to the disease. So, what would happen next? Would they be just tossed into the system without no one to look out for them? Delhi government has gone out and put a statement. CM Arvind Kejriwal stated that the Delhi government will also extend help to the families that have lost earning members to the disease. CM Kejriwal said that Delhi recorded around 8,500 new COVID-19 cases on this Friday. So 2 days ago, 8,500 cases just in Delhi. Recording this on the 16th, which is a Sunday. But the point of the matter is that these kids now have someone that is going to be, actively looking out for them, which they most evidently needed, rather than just being neglected by the system as many of us had feared. An Iranian minister has cancelled his visit to Austria because Austria raised an Israeli flag. This is exactly what we spoke about when we said that, people were going to be forced to pick sides. And this is what it all has boiled down to. Nations are feeling obligated to pick sides and paint narratives either in Iranian limelight or in Israeli limelight. And this is exactly what happened with Iranian Foreign Minister Jawad Zarif putting out a statement dictating that he is cancelling his visit to Austria. The Austrian government put out a statement dictating that we regret this and take note of it, but when Hamas fires over 2,000 rockets at civilian targets in Israel, then we will not remain silent. A government spokesperson officially put out that statement, and that circulated across the news cycle and does what news cycle does best. Speculations galore, news cycles galore, and people's opinions, as we all know, galore. A COVID-19 positive minister was hospitalized. Instead of just being hospitalized in Mizoram like he was expected to, he actually started to contribute towards the hospital itself. And because he is COVID-19 positive and everyone in the ward that he was in, essentially in isolation with, they were all positive as well. So he went out of his way to start mopping the floor so that the housekeeping and everyone who would come in with PPE and all of that jargon to try and try to keep things clean, he didn't need to do that. He just needed gloves and a mask, which he already was wearing. His motive of mopping floors was not to embarrass the nurses or doctors, but he wanted to educate and lead others by setting an example, stating that just because you're in a designated title position doesn't mean that you cannot contribute towards society, and especially at a time like this, you need to be the ones at the forefront of things, which a lot of people commended him for. China successfully lands its Mars rover. Now, the Chinese National Space Administration put out a statement dictating that, after 9 minutes of terror, that it was, under complete panic mode when it thought that it had lost the payload. Turns out that its rover finally landed on the surface. It is said that it's studying the soil in the atmosphere and also is going to be looking at signs of ancient life that might be present on Mars. Taiwan 1 spacecraft is essentially the capsule that took it to Mars, and the rover is called Zhurong. Thousands have joined in support of Palestinians in Spain. And this is another side where Austria picked the side of Israel, Spain picked the side of Palestine. Thousands of people joined a protest in Spain's capital, Madrid, on Saturday in support of the Palestinians amid the conflict at the Gaza Strip. People said that we've been silent for many years, but it's time for us to speak out for all those Palestinians who are dying and to defend them, because if we don't, no one else will. This was, the narrative painted by an 18-year-old student at the very forefront of the protest, who was essentially someone who was very much responsible in garnering the youth attention towards the issue. Now, what happens next with this Israel-Palestine conflict is anyone's guess. We have no idea as to what can we expect next. But what we do understand is the fact that things are getting intense. The cost of human life is getting lower and lower, and people are not afraid of writing us regular people off as collateral damage at this point. We move on to the fact that Google put out a statement dictating that the H-1B visa permit spouses case that has been on and off in the US. And if you're not aware of the fact, essentially H-4 visas employment authorization may impact 90,000 H-4 visa holders, out of which 90% are women. Now, what is an H-4? Google said that it's leading the charge along with 40 other tech companies and trade groups to oppose a lawsuit that seeks to stop spouses of H-1B visa holders who have been called into the country for special skills from working in the US. So essentially, if you are an H1 holder and your wife comes with you to the US, she should be allowed to work, which is an H4. And well, there's a lawsuit stating that she shouldn't be allowed to work. So well, considering that 90% of H4 visa holders are women, this becomes a whole different narrative when it comes to, well, you can paint the oppression narrative as well. You can be like, how can you? And by what standards are you saying that this is supposed to be a thing just because housewives are not supposed to work? Is that the narrative that you're trying to paint, US government? And well, all things look good considering that this thing is actually picking up momentum, and if enough momentum is garnered, we can best believe that this lawsuit is going down the drain. We move on to a very funny story. A man cooked a pizza in a, active volcano. Well, not in it, around it rather. A video surfaced of a 34-year-old man in Guatemala cooking a pizza on an active volcano. It shows David Garcia, the guy cooking the pizza right there. Well, he put on special metal plates that can resist temperatures of up to 1,000 degrees, and he put that on top of molten lava essentially. And then he cooked a pizza on top of that. So, the world's first pizza cooked on top of active lava, people, tasted no different than the one cooked in your oven. The world is ever evolving in this 24-hour news cycle, and we are not sure about what to expect next, what to not expect, and whether it's stupid to believe that the world is going to fix itself, because if we don't take initiative now and today and understand the bigger picture of things, it's going to come and bite us right where we don't want it to bite us. See you tomorrow.